Thanks, Leah.
Thank you so much, Jody. And thanks everyone for coming tonight. It's really exciting to be able to talk to you about the design program. So as Jody said, my name is Leah Barclay. I'm the discipline lead of design here at UniSC and a senior lecturer in design. And I'd also like to start by acknowledging that I'm joining you all tonight from beautiful Gubbi Gubbi country here at our Sippy Downs campus on the Sunshine Coast. And it's a real privilege to have such great connections and relationships with local First Nations people and artists in our program. So I'm going to give us a bit of a snapshot of design at UniSC and the Bachelor of Design. Now, I'm a little bit biased, but I really think there's never been a more exciting time to be studying design. There is so much happening in the field of design at the moment, so many exciting possibilities, and we're really seeing the role of design and designers and creative practitioners impact so many different sectors on the planet. So it's an incredibly exciting field, particularly with the rapid development of emerging technology. So in the program here at UniSC, we have been really lucky to completely redevelop all of our courses in the last few years. So it's a really future facing program that is really aligned with what's happening in the field of design nationally and internationally. And we're lucky to have some incredible people within our team. And what's really unique about studying design at UniSC with our academic team is everyone is a practitioner as well. So we're all active researchers, active artists and designers working in the industry. So you're really learning from people that have their finger on the pulse with what's happening in the industry. We have some pretty incredible facilities across all of our campuses where you can really get immersed in state-of-the-art technologies. And we are recognised #1 in Queensland for teaching quality. And something really unique about that, I think, is our smaller classes at UniSC, that ability to have one-on-one time with your tutors and mentors, and to be really studying in an environment where the people that are teaching you really care about what you want to do and how you want to do it and why you want to be a designer. So I just wanted to chat a little bit about some big picture ideas that really underpin the design program. As Jody mentioned, sustainability is such a key pillar of UniSC. It really underpins so many parts of the university, and that is a critical part of the design program as well. So sustainability really influences us from everything from how we might think about the materials that we use in our courses, think about design methods and how we're creating new projects, to how we actually work with our local environments and places. We are the only university in the world that has campuses across 3 UNESCO biosphere reserves, and to be able to work in design courses outside in the environment connected to the biosphere reserves and responding to place is something that makes this program so unique. Likewise, at UniSC, we have such a strong focus on work integrated learning. And in the design program, this means that you have the opportunity to work with industry partners from the first year of your program, learning directly from local partners, which range from Sunshine Coast Council to local design studios. And then by third year, you're able to undertake industry partnerships, working directly with those organizations, and in many cases actually having employment opportunities with those organizations as well. So let's dive into the Bachelor of Design now. This is a 3-year full-time program that is offered across our Sunshine Coast, Moreton Bay, and online campuses or options, and that is quite flexible. So you can enroll in the Sunshine Coast delivery and take some of your courses at Moreton Bay or online, likewise with Moreton Bay. So it's quite flexible how you design your program, and it's really focused on learning about the latest interdisciplinary design practices and new technologies. As I mentioned earlier, really future facing these courses have been really developed in response to what's happening in our sector nationally and internationally. You have that opportunity to work directly with industry experts and organizations to deliver projects for a diversity of audiences. So from the very beginning of your degree, you have the opportunity to work on public facing outcomes where the local community can really connect with the work that you're doing as design students, and the local industry can really get a sense of the kind of designers that are coming through the program. We have a really strong focus on that kind of theoretical foundation of design thinking, ethical practices, and inclusive design, really thinking about how we design in a world that is changing so rapidly, but where we really need to consider how design can be innovative for everyone. And we have a really strong focus on problem solving strategies, which is really at the heart of design, and really looking at the creative possibilities of solving different design challenges. So the Bachelor of Design is quite unique in that it is flexible how you actually curate your program. So you are required to select one major, which I'll talk through our 4 core majors in a moment. But then in addition to that, you can select a second major from the list here, which is drawn both from the design program and our creative industries and communication program more broadly. And you also have the opportunity, instead of a second major, to select 2 minors. So there is a selection of minors there that are at the core of our design program, including the photographic practice minor and some of our game programming and game art minors, but then a whole range of minors from the broader creative industries and communication program that you can select from as well. So those required majors, you're basically selecting from one of those 4 majors. And I just want to chat a little bit about the focus of those 4 majors. So our first major, the digital culture major, really sits in the heart of the Bachelor of Design. This is quite a versatile and future facing major that has a really strong focus on photographic practices and emerging technologies and place-based design practices. So in that major, we have the opportunity to do a lot of field work, work with a lot of industry guests, be active in places like the photography studio and the makerspace, and really look at the role that design can play in the world today. Now, that is incredibly interdisciplinary, but really focused on the possibilities of design in today's world. Now, our second major, the game design major, has a really strong focus on preparing students to walk straight into the game industry, which is one of the fastest growing sectors in Australia at the moment. There's so much rapid development happening in games, and we're also seeing the potential of game development programs across so many different areas, from tourism to the Olympics to medicine, and how we might look at virtual environments in hospital situations. So a whole range of possibilities in the game design major as well. And you're able to focus and specialize either in game art or game programming. So you're able to really specialize. Now, the interactive media major has a really strong focus on a whole spectrum of interactive technologies, really looking at the role that interactivity plays in the world today. We're focused on both physical interactivity, so physical computing, creating different interactive installations and experiences that could be shown in galleries or museums or various festival and exhibition contexts, to interactivity in online environments where students work to develop virtual interactive experiences and things like apps and websites. So a lot of possibilities in that major as well. And finally, our visual communication major, which is what we may have considered a traditional graphic design major in the past, but this is a real future focused visual communication major where students get all of that grounding and foundation in graphic design, but are really been exposed to the latest technologies and where visual communication is really heading in terms of responsive design, and being exposed to different tools such as augmented reality, learning how to animate, and really looking at the possibilities of visualization in different sectors. So some really exciting possibilities in that major as well. So they're the majors that sit at the core of the degree. I'm not going to talk about the rest of the minors in much detail, but as we said, it is quite flexible and versatile. And if there's particular things that you're really interested in studying, let's say you have a real passion for animal ecology or geography as well, you're able to take electives in those subjects as part of your Bachelor of Design as well. So there is a whole wide spectrum of career opportunities for design graduates now. Everything from interdisciplinary artists and professional photographers to game designers, creative producers, content creators. We're seeing those skills in design applied across so many different sectors as well. And the possibilities for career pathways are really endless at this point in time. And as I said, that opportunity to redevelop the program has meant that we've really embedded that versatility in the way we're teaching design as well, really preparing students for a future that is shaped by design. So in our various subjects, we do everything from being immersed in incredible spaces like the Cave, which is the only one in Australia, an amazing immersive visualization space with screens surrounding us and 16 channel surround sound as well. So we're able to immerse you in your assessment pieces and the content that you explore in your courses, an incredible space to learn and create work. And you do everything from 3D printing in the makerspace, flying drones in some of our digital culture and photography courses, to actually creating 3D experiences in virtual reality. We have a whole range of guests that are embedded in our courses, everything from leading animators like Helena Papangiorgio to some of the world's leading app developers like Sutu, who is an Australian artist and designer that's now based in Los Angeles and has made the app iJack, which is an augmented reality platform which we have a partnership with through our program. We also have some incredible opportunities for students to work directly on research projects and on industry partnerships through our work integrated learning programs. This is a great example led by Dr. Tricia King, who's with us this evening as well, with the Aging Well Creative Lab, a program that she leads on campus, bringing older adults from the community onto campus into the makerspace to learn about emerging technologies. And there's opportunities for our undergraduate students to work directly with Tricia and the Aging Well Creative Lab on that project as well. Likewise, we have industry partners actually based on campus. So Haven XR, which is one of now the world's leading innovators in location-based XR technologies, is actually based at our Sippy Downs campus, creating major productions that are being distributed across the world. And students have the opportunity to visit the studio in their first and second year, learn directly from the Haven XR team. And then in our third year, students have that opportunity to join a talent accelerator and actually learn directly from Haven XR, work on those projects. And we've seen several students actually get employed full-time with Haven XR as well. Now, our design courses have assessments that really align with national and international opportunities for students as well. So an example of this is some of the work that happens in our Design Futures course, where students are able to develop a project that responds to a particular global challenge, and they can submit this for the International Biodesign competition that runs in New York City every year. And we've had some great success with these opportunities, including some of the student projects being nominated as international finalists and actually shown in New York. So this was an example of a group of students who developed a pretty fascinating app here called Vero, which was basically a vertical garden that you could connect with and communicate with. And they developed a really fascinating prototype for this. And another example was actually a creative team that Marcia was involved with, who's with us tonight as well. A pretty remarkable concept that they came up with around responding to the future of fast fashion and actually developing different textiles from sustainable materials, including seaweed. And they developed a whole concept for a business called That's So Ethical, which had an app, a website, and an interactive experience with it as well. And so, as part of these opportunities, this work was shown in New York City. There was a lot of local media as well. Marcia did a great interview on ABC about the project. And it was a great opportunity for these students to really showcase their work amongst several other design courses as well, and get students really inspired by the possibilities of design. Now, our courses all have these opportunities for students to show their work to the local community and industry. One of the big focuses of this is our annual design exhibition, which happens in the UniSC Art Gallery, where all of our capstone design students create a major capstone project, which is hosted in the gallery as a professional exhibition for 2 weeks. And we have an opening night where we invite VIP guests and local industry to come and experience the work that's in this exhibition. And this is always a really fantastic celebration of the culmination of your degree, but also a fantastic way to see the kind of diversity that's happening in the design program across all of our majors, but the way students are really innovating with design as well. And that kind of showcase on campus extends beyond the gallery to the campus itself. So we really treat our campuses as a canvas for design as well, and really work with the environment and respond to these places. This example, our incredible water battery on our Sippy Downs campus, we turn this into a projection surface where we bring design students' work outside in the evening and project it over the water battery. We also do this on the side of the UniSC Art Gallery as well, and other surfaces around campus, so you can really see how design can evolve and respond to public spaces as well. And that idea of being able to really connect to the biosphere is such an important one through many of our courses, where we take students out in the field. This is some of our photography and sound students on a field trip to Mooloolah River National Park. We're really lucky to work directly with some of our local tourism operators like Sunreef, where we take students out using creative technology underwater to create immersive experiences that might be augmented reality or virtual reality. And we're really lucky to be able to take students to Gari as well. Gari is such an incredible place, and UniSC is very lucky to have a research station on Gari, the Gari Research Station. And so we regularly take students for immersive field trips to Gari to really learn about how we can apply creative technologies in place and create works responding to Gari as well. And in addition to that, we've had a wide spectrum of design students actually work on the design and rebranding of the Gari Research Station. So we have some students working on signage at the moment, and other students have created augmented reality experiences in response to the research station. And Marcia, pictured here, was actually one of the first students to work as a design student through work integrated learning at the Gari Research Station, and is now actually supervising students who are working in that work integrated learning program at the Gari Research Station. So I'm going to hand over to Marcia now to talk a little bit about her story and the work that she's been doing with design at UniSC.
Thank you so much, Leah. I just would like to begin by acknowledging that I'm speaking with you today on Gabi Gabi country, and I'm really grateful to be able to live, work, and study on this land. And I pay my respect to elders, past, present, and emerging. So my name is Marcia. I completed a Bachelor of Design, and now I'm studying Master of Creative Arts with Creative Ecology Research Cluster. And my research looks at how storytelling and creative practice can strengthen environment, connection, and belonging. And alongside teaching, as Leah was mentioned, and study, I also do photography and videography for different projects around the university. And my master focus on working with First Nation people. And Gary, it's been a big part of it. And it's so special. And I'm very grateful for this opportunity that I have to spend time in Gary learning with the First Nation and they passing all the knowledge. And so this is one of the photos that we were there with the students, so supervising and also be able to take photos was just amazing. Uh, Next slide, please. Yeah. So not just be able to do the master supervising, but also all the friendship that I made along the way by studying at the university. It's been just amazing. And another part of my master is also actually working with a sea turtle research and rehabilitation center. And this also connects with both my research and my role as a casual tutor. And a big part of this have been supervising students hands-on in the course. If you can go to the next slide, please. Yeah. So for me, it's been amazing because I was able to learn different equipments, different things that now I can expand to my master. Next slide, please. In Gary, it was just one of the things you do. So in these courses, you not just go there, but you learn also all the equipments that you learn. So it's really hands-on. And for me, one thing that I've been really grateful is with these courses, it's opened my whole it changed my life in some ways. All the things I learned as a student, now I'm being able to use in my master and as a working as well, and then now supervising. Next slide again. This is actually one of the photo taken by me using the equipment 360 that I learned doing one of the course, the sensing environments that we'll be talking to you more about later. But in this, I was able also to supervise the students, but also it's part of my master as well that I'm doing. That's part of Theater Research and Rehabilitation Center. And it's just amazing that opportunity that you guys will have to, that it's a hands-on where you're not just able to learn what you learn about other equipments that you can do, but also use it and have this opportunity to bring to the real life and yeah, just connect to the real lives that you, all things you've been doing. Next slide, please. So yes, this is me. So all the things I do, it's been a privilege to be able to study, but also supervising and all the things that we can do at the university.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Marcia. Um, and thanks also, Leah. I know that I've got a much better understanding, and I think that you both are inspirations. So I know someone had a question about the program. So hopefully that question's been answered now in terms of you going through the majors and the minors. And yeah, just reiterating again just how flexible the degree is. So thanks again to you both, and we'll see you again in the panel discussion. So I'm just going to jump in and just talk about the pathways to get in to your dream degree. So we have a mixed audience. So there's some students that are still in school and maybe in year 12, and also some mature age students. So the ATAR pathway is an option. So you can use that to get into university. We have also got the early offer guarantee. So this is where you can lock in your spot to UniSC before you sit your external examinations. So you would just need to see the early offer guarantee coordinator at your school. So you still need to make sure that you fill out a QTAC application and make sure that your number one preference matches on your QTAC application is the same as the program on your early offer guarantee form. We also have tertiary preparation pathways. So this is a great way to test out uni before committing to a degree. It's a great way to get ready for full-time study and brush up on those academic skills. So you can choose between subjects that you do. So, you know, if you're wanting a little bit more help with English, then you can do, you know, one of the English courses. There is a guide available that shows you what are the best TPP subjects that you can do for certain degrees. If you're not quite ready for to commit to a bachelor's degree, we do have diplomas that are available. So they're a full-time 1-year program. So you could get a taste for uni, and it's a standalone qualification. So after 1 year, you will be finishing with a diploma, and then you can go on to further bachelor's study and get credit for some of the programs from that you've completed in the diploma. So probably of most relevance here would be the diploma in business, perhaps looking at a major in digital futures. It's important to note as well that TAFE certificates or certificates from RTOs you can use to get into university. So a certificate 3 gives you a selection rank for entry into some programs at UniSC. And so if it's not a program of choice, you can always transfer after a semester or a year. And then a certificate 4 or diplomas give you a higher selection rank. So as an example, a certificate 3 would give you a rank of 68. And then a diploma the certificate 4, sorry, is 74, and then a diploma 82. We also have ideas. So if you identify as Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander, you may be given direct entry into a program based on your potential to succeed. So your past experiences are considered in relation to study and employment, as well as your potential to succeed with university studies. And finally, we have the Access UniSC scheme. So that's been established to encourage participation from eligible applicants who have experienced educational disadvantage or who have excelled in academic and sporting endeavours. Thanks, Leah. Okay, so how do I apply for UniSC? So a couple of options. So you can search up UniSC study guide. We have an online version of the study guide. Or alternatively, you can just visit usc.edu.au and find the degree. So if you're wanting to look into the Bachelor of Design and the majors and the minors that Leah was talking about earlier. So a major is 8 courses. You'll be able to go on to the program, have a look at the program structure and see all of the courses that you would study as part of a major to work out if that's something that you feel quite passionate about. You can check the entry requirements. For example, are there any prerequisites? And then apply online at QTAC. So QTAC, you can see the URL there for all UniSC degrees. So applications are open for trimester 1 of next year. Thanks, Leah. So we have a QR code here that we welcome everybody to scan. If you don't quite get in on time, don't worry, this webinar, the recording will be sent out, the actual PDF version of the PowerPoint will be sent out. So you will be able to access this QR code. What it is, it's a free QTAC voucher so that you can start in February of next year. So we'd love to encourage everybody to take advantage of that. Thanks, Leah. Okay, so it's time to start our panel discussion. So can I get all of our panelists to pop your cameras back on, please? Thank you. So once again, we've welcomed back to Leah and Marcia, and also Dr. Tricia King into our panel discussion. So thank you again for joining us this evening. I'm just going to start with, yeah, if you can just give, I think, Marcia, you've given us, you know, a bit of background about yourself, so thank you. But if I can open up to the panel, if we can just hear a little bit more about your background at UniSC and your research areas, that would be great.
Sure. So my master, it's my master is a creative arts, and I'm also part of creative ecology research cluster. And my research looks how storytelling and creative practice can strengthen environment connection of belonging. So originally from Brazil, and for me it's a big. I grew up in Japan, so for me it's a big personal research as well. We're trying to find belonging and identity, and also the connection with the environment. Um, as you can see, my accent is very much Brazilian. So I'm in Australia for the last 20 years, but I still can't get rid of this accent. I studied at the University of Sunshine Coast. I did design, did part-time, so it's been a long journey. I finished and I was able to do the master, but this come from after doing sensing environments. That can I talk about a little bit about that as well? Is that okay? Yeah. So one of the course that's called sensing environments that I done before I did this course, I thought I wanted to do just a design, and then after this course, I realized that design was much more than what I have in mind. And so for me, it was a change point in my life where then I could see that I could do two passions together, environment and also doing photography, telling a story. So that was a big changing point for me. And from there, now I'm here doing my master because of that course. So this is a course that you all should do. And yeah, just putting there. I'm sorry, Jody, what else are you asking me?
No, that's all good. Thank you. I think what the common thread is just the passion so far that I think we've got from Leah and Marcia, and um, just reiterating as well, you know, Leah, earlier you were talking about, you know, you can pick up on, you know, use a minor to pick up on those courses that you're really interested in. So it sounds like you've been able to do that as well, Marcia, which is great. So I just think your passion is very inspiring. So thank you.
Thank
If
you, Jody.
yeah, if Leah or Tricia, you want to add anything.
I'll introduce myself. And speaking of passion, I picked up a camera when I was 8 years old, and I said, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And I've been very, very fortunate that this is what I have done for my life so far. So I am really deeply passionate about creating work with students and teaching students photography. But my research area is also around engaging older adults with photographic practices and new technologies as well. So as Leah alluded to earlier, I run a community program on campus once a fortnight where I engage older adults with technologies. And as part of that, we pull in some undergraduate students and some master's students like Marcia to come along and really engage in that. And we fly drones, but this week we're doing cyanotypes. So we're going back to traditional photographic practices. And so, yeah, I'm deeply passionate about that as well, and about, you know, working with students in the studio and bringing in our guest artists each week. We had models in the studio this week as well, and had a creative ad session. So there are lots of possibilities of ways to intersect with design at UniSC.
Thanks, Tricia. That sounds like such a wonderful project. And, you know, again, you know, when Leah, you were talking earlier about solving problems and connecting with community, that's a really great example. And it's so great that you can thread in your passion of photography into that. Leah, did you want to jump in and add anything?
Yeah, look, I guess just quickly I can, just I guess echo a little bit of what Marcia and Trisha have said in I think, what really brings many of us together at UniSC is that passion for design and I guess more broadly the passion for the role that creativity can really play in the world today. In responding to place, in connecting communities, and in addressing some of the wicked problems we have in the world today. So I guess, yeah, I mean, I also co-lead the Creative Ecologies Research Cluster with Trisha, that Marcia is part of as well, which is kind of emerged out of the design program. And I've been lucky to work in a number of different universities, and I've always been drawn back to this region and drawn back to UniSC. And I think it's such an exciting place to both teach and study design because of this incredible environment and community that we have, and that ability to really, develop these close collaborations with our students and see them thrive and do such incredible work, like Marcia is doing. I mean, it's only a couple of years ago that Marcia was an undergraduate student, and now, I mean, even just this week on campus, Marcia was filming videos with our Pro Vice Chancellor Education for some new exciting initiatives. So I think it's just such a privilege to see how far some of our students have come, and yeah, a real privilege to work really closely with students in such a beautiful location like the Sunshine Coast.
Thanks, Leah. And we're certainly lucky to have both yourself and Trisha as academic staff. I'll move on to the next question now, and it's for you, Marcia, because I guess there was all the different majors that you could choose as part of the Bachelor of Design. So for prospective students in our audience, when they're looking at a major, can I ask you, how did you choose your major?
Um, so in the beginning, my major was going to be 3D design. And as I said, then after doing the sensing environment is then where it changed everything. So I had to go to the university and ask to redo my whole major from there, because initially it was 3D design, and then my minor was going to be photography and other things, but it changed after the course. So that's how I choose, I guess. After doing a course, I realized that design was much more, and I did not want to do 3D design. And I wanted to go, yeah, I think design is, like, as Leah was saying, so much creativity there, and was that I would just wanted to embrace a bit more. So choosing visual communication then, where the sensing environments was under, made more sense for me.
Yeah, and I think there's probably quite a lot of students that start off in their program and they learn a little bit more about themselves and where their interests are. So it's probably, quite common that students might end up changing, but there is definitely that flexibility. And like you said, like you can go to Student Central and go, this is what I've done so far, and get their help with mapping it out. But yeah, it sounds like, yeah, quite a lot of students would do that. So it's great that there's that flexibility to be able to change over. So now just a question about the work integrated learning component of the program. So can you give us an idea, and this is open to anybody really, of what that might look like in the Bachelor of Design?
Sure, yeah. Shall I take that one? Look, it's a really exciting, I guess, model for work integrated learning, where we have industry partners and community partners that are embedded throughout the program. And so we really align those work integrated learning opportunities with the things that students are passionate about. And so that might be, a student looking at how they can apply their design skills in a conservation or a local government context. For example, we had one student quite recently do their internship in their third year with local council, and then basically move into a permanent position with that council after they demonstrated their design skills. So it's yeah, a very versatile work integrated learning program, and is really I think, evolved from our close relationships as a program with those local industry and community partnerships. And saying that, we do offer work integrated learning through some national and international opportunities as well, which comes through with perhaps conferences or industry events. For example, at the moment, we're hosting ANAT Spectra, which is ANAT is the Australian Network for Art and Technology, so the peak body for art, design, and technology nationally, who are hosting a major event on campus with us, and we have over 30 students working in that work integrated learning context on that event directly with national artists and designers as well. So there's endless possibilities really with work integrated learning.
Thanks, Leah. And sorry, Marcia, would you like to add into that?
Yeah, I would like to add, but Jody, I can do after you.
No, definitely. I was going to sum it up. So if you want to recall an experience, that would be great.
Yes, sorry. So my experience has been just amazing. I think a lot of the opportunities that comes through my studies here, because of the real hands-off experience, gave me skills and connections, and I think I wouldn't have otherwise. One of my favorite one is working with Aging Well, where I'm not only made this amazing friendship, but it's like such amazing experience that gave me as well, and really like rewarding life learning experience for me. Also, another one is like being working with First Nation people, which means a lot to me, and the connection direct to my master, but not just that, as a personal as well. And as Leah mentioned before, like I was able to film the Pro Vice Chancellor, and I think this is like an amazing opportunity that all started with gaining skills during my studies, and now I'm able to use it. So yeah, I think these opportunities have been incredible, and I think all come through the studies and the connection I have from the university.
Yeah, thanks, Marcia. And it is, yeah, adding to those connections, as you said, and having those skills. It's important, in the event that a student has completed their program and they're taking part in an interview, they've got some real experiences to talk to. And also with what you were saying, Leah, it's great that you're looking for learning experiences or work experiences for these students that is connected to what they've been studying and what you've noticed their passions are. So, and then aligning that, which is great. Thank you all. So a question now about, because sometimes there's a bit of a perception around how you study at uni. So we always like to cover this off, and just if someone can talk about how flexible it is studying at UniSC in terms of, the timetable, how many days are students typically on campus and, studying online.
Yeah, I'm happy to take that one. Look, I'd like to build on what Marcia was saying about the flexibility that she got a little way into her degree and then went, oh no, I want to do this instead. Our first year in design is really about showing you the possibilities. So we all have these shared core courses in design where you get a little bit of everything, because it's really unrealistic to expect you to sign up on day one knowing exactly what you want to do. And so in that first year, you get to discover and explore and experiment. And then from there, it is quite feasible that you might want to change from a major in VisCom to digital cultures, for example. So you have that flexibility to do that within the design program. But within USC more broadly, it's really, we have people from all walks of life, all lived experiences who come to us either directly from school or maybe after a few years in industry or maybe after raising a family. And they come to us wanting different things to fit in with their lifestyle. And so, it's up to you whether you can take, one course or whether you want to do the full 4 courses. Some students like to select their on-campus subjects or online subjects that they do it all in one day. Other students I know pick one a day and then spend the rest of the day in the library working on those subjects. You can study online with us, you can study asynchronous with us. It's really your journey as well. There is lots of flexibility. Look, I'll be honest and say that I'm really fortunate that my own daughter has been one of those people who has just received an early offer for UniSC, and what she plans to do is do one subject, work full time, and then go overseas for a year and then come back and finish off the rest of her degree. And there's that kind of flexibility is really inbuilt in the experience at UniSC.
Yeah, thanks for that, Tricia. I think you've given some really great examples to show how it can work for all different types of people. And I noticed as well, Marcia, you said when you first started, you know, you were part-time, so no doubt juggling it around work or other commitments. So yeah, definitely that flexibility. I know you touched on it earlier, Leah, but can we just go back to some graduate jobs that are available, just so our audience can get an idea of the jobs that they can step out into?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a whole spectrum of jobs opening up in the design industry every day at the moment, and much wider than the design industry as well. As I said in the presentation, we are seeing that role of designers so prevalent in many other sectors as well. So when we kind of see the rapid pace of emerging technologies as well, there is huge opportunities for designers with those skills in emerging technologies. So when we're talking XR, VR, AR, and creative technologies more broadly, so thinking about photography, videography, sound, all of those skills. When we think about something like the next Olympics, this will be the very first Olympics that has been presented as basically a digital twin in a virtual environment just as much as it is in a physical environment. So that is literally thousands of jobs in the next few years for design graduates here in Queensland. And look, that's just one example. We see the role of designers in so many different businesses moving in-house now rather than contracting for external studios or designers. Everything from our local councils and small businesses actually hiring full-time designers on staff, which might be graphic designers that have animation and augmented reality skills, or it could be designers that are more specializing in digital culture and interactive media.
No, thanks, Leah. And I think as well, you know, you were talking earlier about the small class sizes. The great thing is that when students have started and, you know, you establish those close relationships with students and you get to know them quite well, you know, based on their interest and so forth, they can have those conversations, you know, with yourself and Tricia and talk about alignment in industry and where that could fit. So thanks so much for that, Leah. So I just have a final question for Marcia. If you can just talk about what the experience has been like for you in industry, bearing in mind you're currently doing your master's, but yeah, those experiences that you have had in industry.
Yeah, sure. Like as I mentioned before, like working with learning the skills at the uni by being able to film and photos. Now I'm being able to use as in Aging Well. Like I'm working with Trisha where I made videos and also just have this opportunity of working and filming the Pro Vice Chancellor as well. So editing, all skills that I was able to learn, and now I'm using it. And I feel like this is a great experience where not only I'm using what I learned, but also like the connections that I am able to make through the university. So I think a lot of the courses, because it was such a hands-on, where it was a real learning, I feel like now I'm able to go and work and yeah, so it's just been an amazing experience in this area.
Yeah, it's good to be able to apply it then.
Absolutely.
Yeah, wonderful. Thanks, Marcia. And this question comes from someone in the audience, so anybody can answer, and I can understand why they might be asking it given it's a design course, but they've asked, what laptops do you recommend, you know, for a student that's studying design?
I'm happy to take this one. On campus, we have 24-hour access computer labs that you can access. So the equipment is there for you. In terms of laptops, you can have your own laptop. I think the games course, and Leah can jump in, is the only one that is required to run a special program. Everything else online, we have software that we can use or free equivalents. We also have access to our equipment loan in our dispensary, where you can hire all sorts of incredible, well, speaking for myself, camera lenses and lots of sound equipment, and that's accessible from both the Moreton Bay and the Sunshine Coast campus. So there's really nothing that you need to bring to this course. We have everything freely available for everybody as well. So laptop wise, it's really, up to you and what you feel comfortable with. There's no minimum requirement. We do have a whole bunch of programs, and I know there was a program questions earlier. We teach a lot of Adobe Photoshop, as I say, and that is installed on all the 24-hour Mac labs and computer labs as well. Leah, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I think that was perfect.
Awesome, thank you. Well, that actually ends our panel discussion and the questions from our audience. So I'd like to thank you, Tricia, Leah, and Marcia again for joining us this evening and jumping into the panel discussion. I think your answers were really thorough, and I think, I'm hoping that everyone in the audience has learned as much as I have. So thank you very much. And if we can go into the next slide. Thanks, Leah. So if anyone does have any further questions or you'd like some one-on-one advice or a tour of the campus, you can book a call with Student Central. So we have the website address there, or you can call Student Central. There's a phone number or an email address. So please feel free to use that. That's an example of the type of support. So it is always great to come onto campus and have a look around. And I think we've got one final slide. That's it. So thank you all for joining us this evening. We do appreciate your time. And once again, I'd just like to thank Tricia, Leah, and Marcia for joining us as well. So we hopefully look forward to seeing you on campus, and remember to scan that code should you wish to access the QTAC voucher. Have a lovely rest of your evening, everybody.